That's probably why we spend so much time managing the covers of our own lives, trying to preserve the appearance that we're either normal or far more interesting than we really are. It gets messier the deeper you get into someone's life, and it's no small thing asking someone to go there with you. Although this book is based on my story, the heart of it is an invitation to become who God has called you to be. And I believe the first step in that lifelong journey is coming to terms with the reality of who you are now versus who you are meant to become. Truth is hard, but to paraphrase King Solomon, reality wins in the end. Accepting yourself and others, scars and all, is a painful process. We were weak when we wanted to be strong, awkward when we longed to be cool, rejected when we hoped to be loved or at least recognized. I could airbrush, cover up, and present a version of my life that's far more attractive than the truth. But who would that help? Real life comes with junk drawers and scary containers of leftovers you forgot were in the back of the fridge. It's not always pretty, but being honest about that stuff, that's what connects us. I don't know about you, but I can relate a lot more to people's screw-ups than their successes. If you really want my trust, don't just brag about your victories. Show me your scars. Before we move on, I want to give you a couple of notes on how this book is structured. From time to time, you'll hear some words from Sarah, as in Sarah, my wife. Her voice is so much a part of my life that to consider telling my story without including her seemed foolish. Her quotes are not accompanied by any commentary. Rather, they're pauses, where she steps into the story and says, "Okay, Matt, but this is how I saw it." Finally, this book as a whole is divided into 3 main parts, made up of smaller sections. At the conclusion of each of the 3 main parts, you'll find 6 questions to reflect on. If you're listening to this book alone, you can respond to them on your own, but the questions are also useful in a group setting if you're listening alongside a spouse or a friend. Either way, I hope you'll take time to consider the questions when you see them and answer honestly. Matt. Intro. The end of a matter is better than its beginning, and patience is better than pride. Ecclesiastes 7:8 NIV. I couldn't quit the band. I had a wife and 4 children depending on me to provide for them. There were mouths to feed, a mortgage to pay, and medical bills to sort out. How could I give up my sole source of income? But my family needed more than financial provision, something that another million streams of Lead Me couldn't give them. Sarah and the kids were hungry for me to provide for their emotional and spiritual needs, and I knew it was time for me to do more than just sing about it. I had to step up and be the man I was called to be, to move beyond my good intentions and take action as the spiritual leader of my family. Throughout my career, I encouraged people to keep dreaming. Dreams are important, even biblical, but when your personal life is stressed to the point of collapsing, I think it's a sign you may be chasing your dreams in the wrong direction. I didn't have to give up crafting words and music for a living. I needed to find a new context in which to use my gifts, where I could be present and attentive and provide financial support for my wife and kids. As much as I had leaned on it, a career in Christian music was not my provider. God was. I would have to trust and let go, believing that just as God brought my career with Sanctus Real at the proper time, He would provide each step of the way. I planned to meet with my bandmates in person, but first I wrote a letter to pave the way. Chris and Mark, I've wanted to talk with you both over the last few days, but I was concerned that I wouldn't remember all I needed to say in the moment. I felt that writing this letter would give me a sure opportunity to be clear and gracious with my words. How do you tell your closest friends that the life they've known for 20 years is over? The threads and layers of the life we shared were complex, woven together through time, love, brotherly struggles, and common accomplishments. Our bond was spiritual and emotional, and marked by our physical presence in each other's lives for almost 20 years. I did my very best. As a husband, father, leader, and friend, I'm accountable for the things in my life that feel out of balance. I'm responsible to listen to God's voice and seek what He is trying to teach me in my restlessness. My natural inclination is to strive harder to fix things and to come up with solutions to keep things moving forward at all costs. However,